Welcome to my The Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. Welcome to my The Asshole Podcast. Let's get right on into today's Thursday episode. We have King of Wrath for you. I believe chapters 38 and 39. Boy, are we moving through this book. Goodness gracious. Oh, my man. I hope you guys have been enjoying the book. It seems like you guys have been enjoying the book whenever I look at the analytics and all that kind of stuff. So that's awesome. Before we get into today's thread, I do have one little announcement for you guys. For all of my Haunting Adeline lovers, we do have something coming out tomorrow that is going to be a little surprise for you guys. Hope you guys enjoy it. Something I've been working on. But for all my Haunting Adeline lovers, you guys will be getting a little surprise tomorrow. So stay tuned for to the YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed already, definitely do. And yeah, I'm gonna be releasing something on there for all my Haunting Adeline lovers. And yeah. So without further ado, let's get right on into the thread. Today's thread is, what's the weirdest thing that gives you anxiety? All right. So let's see what's going on here. All right, what's the weirdest thing that gives you anxiety? I like my job, but when Monday rolls around, it's like my first day on the job again. I'm so worried that I'll do terrible work or mess something up. I'm anxious that I have forgotten something important or that there's going to be major drama that I'll have to deal with. It's like I can't remember that every other day I've been there, but it's fine. And I handle problems that pop up just fine. It's been 4 years. I ain't gonna lie to you. I be having that weird feeling sometimes, but only when I've gone on vacation. Like when I've gone on vacation from work and I'm off for like a week or 2 weeks or whatever, I go back to work a little paranoid, like, oh shit, or if I have to like call out. Because I know when I'm there and somebody calls out, everybody's like, oh, motherfucker, oh, they called out all this and that. You know what I mean? So I feel bad when I call out and I'm coming to work next day like, hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? Everything cool? Everything all right? Yeah, I feel them on that. I definitely feel them on that. What is the weirdest thing that gives you anxiety? When I have my windshield wipers on, I worry that people will think I've got them on at too high of a speed. Look at that guy. He's got his wipers on at 5 when it's a 3 rain at best. Oh, okay. All right. If I'm being honest with you, I do be getting on people. Like sometimes it'll be sprinkling and motherfuckers will just have their windshield wipers going like crazy. I'm like, bro, it's sprinkling. Like, calm the fuck down. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie to you. I'll be secretly in my car judging people too. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I mean? But it's true though. It's one of those things where it's like, bro, if it's barely sprinkling or it's barely raining and you over here got your shit going full speed, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? I'm sorry if I am making you anxious, but just turn them shits down, bro. Turn them down. It's all good. No, I ain't gonna lie to you. I do that. What's the weirdest thing that gives you anxiety? If I am behind the same person in the grocery store for too long, I will get worried they'll think I'm following them. And I will go to another aisle, even if the aisle they are going down has the only thing I need. Something with cars, same thing with cars. If I am behind the same car on the road for too many turns, I get worried they'll think I'm stalking them. Facts. Because for me, obviously I work overnight. So like when I'm coming home, it's really, really early in the morning. And a lot of times I'm just going the same way. You know what I mean? And it's funny because I'll actually see people, pretend to like get over to get in some lane. They're like, oh yeah, I'm turning here. And then I'll drive past them and then they'll get right up behind me. And I'm like, they thought I was following them. It happens almost every time without fail. And for me, I'm just going home. I'm just trying to go home, man. All I'm trying to do is just get home. I had a long day at work, tired as hell, like shit. But yes, I do feel you on that one. Yeah, I don't think it gives me anxiety necessarily. Now, the only thing that really gives me anxiety is if a cop is making too many turns that I'm making. Now, that gives me anxiety. I've had that happen one time. I was going to work and I saw a cop behind me and I was like, I don't want to have to deal with a cop behind me. So I made a left. I made a right just because I didn't want to deal with him. He made that right too. And I was like, oh God, no, please. And so then I was like, it's cool. Let me just make this left. Made the left. He made the left. I'm like, I am cooked. And then I was like, yeah, he's pulling me over. He's fucking pulling me over. So I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to keep driving down this street. And yeah. And out of nowhere, we get to the next light. The cop then pulls up next to me to go ahead and make a left. And I was just like, oh, thank baby Jesus. Oh, I had so much anxiety, dude. And it's one of those things where it's just like you're thinking to yourself, did I do anything wrong? What did I do? What did I do on the last 4 turns? You know what I mean? Like you start to just contemplate every little thing that you've done. And man, bro. Yeah. The only time I have anxiety with cars behind me is if cops are behind me. Yeah. And if they're making all the same turns as me, I'm like, oh, I'm cooked. All right. What is the weirdest thing that gives you anxiety? For me, it's the way I walk. Like if I am walking properly or what people think of it in the hallways, on streets, going upstairs, it makes me nervous. Facts. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think about how I walk a lot because there will be sometimes I'll walk and I'll feel like I'm kind of walking weird or with a limp or something. And so I try to straighten my walk. Same thing with my posture. I be feeling like I have just terrible posture. If I'm standing, I feel like I'm hunched or something, or my back is just arched weird, and I try to straighten myself up and I'm like, is my back straight? Am I good? I get really weird about that stuff. Yeah. Facts. I do watch how I walk because it's just, I don't know. You just think about those kind of things because you can't really, those are things you can't measure yourself. Because obviously, we can't see each other or see ourselves in the third person. So we don't really know how we walk and how we look to other people. So, it makes you a little self-conscious, facts. All right. What's the weirdest thing that gives you anxiety? I worry if other people can smell me, especially during the summer when I'm sweating all the dang time. And yes, I take time for personal hygiene. Yeah, facts. I know a lot of times, especially in the summer, I get the spray-on deodorant, and I keep that with me at work. Because sometimes your boy will just be busting a sweat for no reason. And I'm like, why am I sweating? So, I keep me a little can. I'm like, hey, I'm telling you, bro, it comes in handy. In the summertime, or if you're a sweaty person or whatever, get sprayable deodorant. It'll save you. I'm telling you, man, it'll save you. You can be as sweaty as you want, but you'll smell fine. Because I'm not a big cologne person. I wish I was, but the reason I'm not a big cologne person is because I have a very sensitive nose. And so, a lot of times, if I have too much cologne on, it irritates my nose and it really sucks. There's times where I'll wear cologne and I'll wear it very lightly. But when I wear it very lightly, it does wear off really quickly. And so that's why I stuck to carrying the sprayable, deodorant, because that stuff lasts a lot longer. It doesn't irritate my nose, and I stay smelling fresh all day, all day. So if you're gonna take any advice from this, get some spray deodorant, man. Yep. All right. What's the worst thing that gives you anxiety? Driving to a place I've never been just because I don't know what to expect, how to pull in, where it is exactly, the possibility of going into the wrong place. My mom set me up for failure by making my anxiety as a child invalid and telling me that I'll outgrow it. I'm now 19 and get anxiety over the smallest shit, and it actually makes me mad when I'm freaking out. My thoughts are, what the fuck? This is so stupid. Normal people don't freak out over, and I try to calm myself down. Yeah, I mean, look, it's one of those things where anxiety goes away with experience. And the more you experience and the more things that you do and the more confidence you feel in doing those things, the less anxiety you have. It's not just it magically goes away. I used to deal with anxiety a lot as a kid. And I mean a lot, but the more I grew up and the more experienced I became and the more things I started doing, especially on my own, like try to do a lot of things on your own. And yeah, it will go away in that instance. Why? Because you're just doing more things. You're more confident in doing it. But I ain't gonna lie to you, whenever I drive in like big metropolitan cities, that is where, like, for me, for instance, LA and San Diego are considered big metropolitan cities. And whenever I'm driving out there, I just hate how cramped they are. I'm like, bro, I hate it, man. Oh my God. And then it has a lot of like these weird cross streets. So it's like it's the normal 4-way, and then they have like these X roads through and all this dumb shit. I'm like, bro, that gives me mad anxiety. I ain't gonna lie to you, driving in the city gives me mad anxiety. I hate it. Hate it, man. Oh, jeez, it's the worst. Yeah, facts. And I don't necessarily have anxiety as far as going to a new place, but I know sometimes I hate the fact that, say I'm going somewhere and it's kind of like a hole in the wall spot and then you gotta look for parking. That's the worst. That's the worst. I can't stand that. It makes you be like, damn, man, I should have just fucking got a ride here or some shit. All right, what is the weirdest thing that gives you anxiety? Driving parallel to semi trucks on the interstate. Facts. Oh my God, facts. I am not alone. Oh, I feel so good about that one. Because I get anxiety driving next to trucks on the freeway, man. Maybe it's because I watch too many movies or I've seen just like too many, crazy videos or whatever. But for some reason, when I drive beside big rigs, I either speed up or I slow down or I try to get over to the next lane so I'm a little further away from them. Hate driving next to. I don't know why. It's just one of those things where I feel like the truck driver can't see me, and so he'll just turn into me and I'll just get sucked under the wheels or something. Like, if you've ever seen some of those videos of people's cars getting like sucked under trailers and shit because the truck driver didn't see him, so he's just getting over into the lane and their car just gets sucked right in under it, and then the trailer just goes right over them. And bruh, I ain't gonna lie, I saw way too many of those videos before I started driving. And it just, anxiety, bro. Anxiety, yeah. Facts. I am so glad that I am not the only one. What is the weirdest thing that gives you anxiety? Making phone calls or answering them. Facts. Yeah, especially when it's a number I don't know. Like if it's, a contact, somebody I know or whatever, sure, I'll pick it up all day. Got you. Hey, what's up, person, But if it's a number I don't know, I'll sit there and look at the number for a minute. I ain't gonna lie to you. I will look at that number and be like, do I know this? No. Why is this number calling me? Who would be calling me at this time? Why would somebody be calling? You know what I mean? I go through the whole thing. Sometimes I let it go and I'm just like, they didn't leave a voicemail, then it wasn't that important. I am so bad with that. Oh, you have no idea how bad I am with that. Because I ain't going to lie to you. Sometimes, like people from our work and stuff like that will call me and I don't know the number. And so then I'm like, it is what it is. And then they'll leave a message and then I'll go ahead and call them right back. Because my thing is like, dude, if I don't know who you are, like I can't stand having to talk to the fucking telemarketer people and all that kind of stuff, because I feel bad for hanging up on them. It's one of those things where like, I'll pick it up and they're like, oh, hey, we have this great offer and deal. And I'm just like, oh, no, thanks. No, thank you. I appreciate it, but no, thank you. And they're like, but let me just tell you. No, it's okay. No, thank you. But there's this thing. And I swear, no, look, no, thank you. And then it gets to a point where I'm like, all right, bro. All right, I'm done being nice. I tried to be nice to you. You kept pushing it. And I'm just going to fucking hang up on you. Sometimes I be getting on their ass. I be like, bro. Hey, I said no thank you. Get the fuck off my phone. And then it's one of those things I get off the phone and then I feel bad. And I'm like, dang. I didn't have to be rude to them. That's why I just don't like picking up at all. Because I'm like, dude, they force my hand and they make me get to a point where I get mad and then I tell them off and then I hang up and then I feel bad that I had told them off even though they deserved it. Yeah. All right, what is the weirdest thing that gives you anxiety? Walking in front of people. I need to be the follower. Sometimes I think about that, but other times I'm just like, it's not my problem, Yeah, like I get it, not wanting to be in people's way, you know what I mean? Not wanting to start shit, whatever. I get that 1000% because I'm the same way. I'm the type of person, man. I don't like to start no shit because it won't be, if there ain't no shit, there won't be nothing. The people are crazy nowadays. People, will unalive motherfuckers just for the smallest things. And for me, I look at it like I'm not trying to anger nobody or deal with none of that. No thanks. No thanks. That's why I don't even really get road rage anymore. Like if somebody cuts me off, I'm like, saw you, baby. Saw you. I just don't because, dude, the amount of times that I've seen people, pulling out guns just because they're like mad. Oh, you cut me off. This is, and they're just pop, over just the smallest thing. Like, nah, man, you cut me off. Hey, go ahead, man. Have it, bruh. That's cool. Like, I just look at it like it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Okay. What's the weirdest thing that gives you anxiety? Walking past a street gutter in or out of an elevator. I'm always worried I'll drop something like my phone and it'll fall in the gutter in the case of the elevator. I'm worried it will fall between the elevator and the floor and into the elevator shaft. Yeah. The elevator shaft one, definitely. Oh my God, definitely. Another one is like the elevator getting stuck. I ain't gonna lie to you. I remember there was a time I was in Vegas and I was out there with family and stuff. I forgot why we were out there, but we were out there and we were pretty up there. I think we were on like the 13th floor and we were staying in Treasure Island and I was going down the elevator to go to the gym and, I was all getting ready. I had my music in and stuff and the elevator stopped. And I was thinking, okay, it might be on a floor or whatever. No, it just stopped. And I'm like, okay, maybe this is normal. Maybe the doors will open or something. It just stopped. And I'm like, okay, elevator. And then it started going again. It was like a jolt and it started going back down again. I'm like, okay, well, and I avoided that elevator the rest of the week that I was there. I ain't gonna lie to you, the rest of the week that I was there, I avoided the fuck out of that elevator. I was like, nah, see me in that elevator right there, we don't get along. I don't get along with that guy. That guy plays tricks. I'm not about it with him. Yeah, man, that shit scared the shit out of me, bro. What is the weirdest thing that gives you anxiety? Opening my bank app and logging in gives me a sensation that can best be described as mild panic and dread. Funny enough, counting cash money in my wallet, facts. Completely the opposite. I pretty much operate off cash all the time. Really? Dude, if I'm being honest with you, when I'm counting money in public, I literally be like holding that shit tight and looking around like, motherfucker, you ain't seeing that I got money. I don't know. I'm the type of person where I don't really like to be very open with things that I have and things that, I just don't. I'm sure, if people ask or whatever, that's fine, But again, I'm never really like a flaunting kind of person. And for me, it's because I see what happens to flaunting people. Them motherfuckers get shot and robbed and shit. And I'm just like, nope. No, thank you. Because when I first started the podcast, I was even like worried about, having my computer set up behind me within the within the show, you know, because I was very nervous about it. And I was like, oh, I don't know, man. You know what I mean? A motherfucker will see it and they like something and they wanna get at me, or, you know, I don't know. I was just paranoid about it. But I think once I started doing the show and I just felt more comfortable about it, and I just felt more, you know, and obviously I'm very transparent about it, especially on the streams. You know, on the streams, a lot of people ask me what kind of equipment I use and the type of setup that I have going on, and I'm a little more transparent about it now. I kind of have a little less anxiety about it, and I do have a gun, so if you want to come and catch one, you better watch yourself. I'm just saying. But yeah. As for me, when it comes to opening my bank app, yeah, you know, sometimes I'm just like, all right, how broke am I? You know what I mean? I'm just like, how broke am I? Here we go. Oh, man. But another thing for me that I weirdly get anxiety about is when I'm paying for something. I always get anxiety thinking my card's going to decline. And it's one of those things where I know I have money. I have... what is it called? I have, why can't I think of the word right now? I've budgeted, you know, enough money for this, and I made sure we're all good. And then I'm just like in the grocery line, and I'm just like, is my card gonna decline? Is my card gonna go through? And I'm like looking at the little monitor thing, and then I'm looking back at it, and I'm like, and then, you know, I see my receipt printout, and I see accepted, and I'm like, woo, we're good. We're good, baby. When I had the money the whole time, it's just one of those things, man. I get like that with a lot of stuff. Even when I go get my haircut, yes, I need to go get my haircut. But, you know, even when I go get my haircut, I'm sitting in the chair and she's cutting my hair and I'm like, do I have money for this? Oh my God. Oh, shoot, do I have money for this? Oh, I don't know if I have money for this. You know, it's one of those things where I want to, like, open my bank app while they're cutting my hair and stuff. Oh, it's so bad. I get anxiety with that so bad. I hate it. Hate it. I have the money, and I know I do, and I'll budget it and everything. I just have anxiety about it. I have no idea why. It's the worst, man. It's the absolute worst. All right. Cool. We're going to do one more and then we'll end this thread. What is the weirdest thing that gives you anxiety? I hate putting bed sheets on a bed, like can't stand it. I'll put clothes away all day, but the minute I have to put the bed sheet on, I'm done for. When my sheets are in the wash and I know I'm going to have to face reality in like an hour, I get so upset. Why would that give you anxiety? Why would putting on your bed sheet give you anxiety? That's weird. Huh. I mean, the thread is, you know, what is the weirdest thing that gives you anxiety? But man, I would not know. I mean, maybe it's a thing of like an anxiety of the fact that you got to do it. But they also said, I mean, clothes, I'm chilling, you know, like I'll fold my clothes all day long and put them away. But when it comes to their bed, for some reason they get anxiety over their bed. Huh. That's a very odd one. I would have never thought somebody would get anxiety over that, but I guess so. All right, but that's going to be it for this thread. Hope you guys enjoyed that thread. We're going to hop through announcements, get right on through those, and then we'll get right into our book. All right, so patreon.com/MindTheAsshole Get an exclusive episode every single Friday, as well as being able to send in your scenario to be featured on the Tuesday and Sunday show. All right, audio listeners, thank you guys for all the support and coming out every week, downloading the episodes, and rating us 5 stars on your preferred platform. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate all the support that you guys show, and, you know, just keep showing that support, man. Keep coming out every week. I'll keep making episodes every week, and it is what it gonna be. All right. So, if you want to help out even more, go ahead and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, as well as subscribing on YouTube. All of that is free, and it helps out tremendously. All right. So tomorrow we are going to have a little bit of a surprise upload for you guys. So definitely stay tuned on YouTube for that surprise tomorrow. Again, it will be themed around Haunting Adeline. So if you guys are Haunting Adeline lovers, then stay closely tuned to the channel tomorrow. All right. And then our streaming schedule has changed slightly. So I'll still be streaming Sunday and Monday. Friday, Sunday, and Monday. We'll still be streaming Friday, Sunday, and Monday like normal. On Friday, I'm going to be changing my stream time to 2 p.m. So it'll be 2 p.m. to maybe around 6. And then Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday. So Wednesday is going to be the new day we're going to be adding onto the stream schedule. So Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday will be at 5 p.m. All right. So I'm going to be adding another stream day. Hopefully that, allows more people to come in. It's just more content, more for me to do for you guys. And so I'm excited for that. Hopefully you guys are too. Hopefully see you guys in a stream. But without further ado, let's get right on into the book. Let's do it. Let's see here. Oh.
Chapter 38. Vivian. Hey, Vivian. The usual? Yes, please. Make it 4, I said as the barista rang me up. I frequented the coffee shop near my office so often they'd memorized my order. Thanks, Jen. No problem. She smiled. See you tomorrow. I paid and moved to the pickup area, only half looking at where I was going. I was too distracted by the flood of new messages scrolling across my screen. My phone had been blowing up all weekend. Friends, acquaintances, society reporters, everyone wanted to congratulate or talk to me after the smashing success of the Legacy Ball. Mode de Vie had deemed it one of the most exquisite balls in the institution's history in their Sunday Style Roundup, which meant I woke up that morning with even more messages crowding my inbox. It was only Monday, and I already had 22 new client inquiries, 5 interview requests, and countless invitations to balls, screenings, and private parties. The whispers about Lau Jules' troubles were still circulating, but they weren't enough to override the prestige of hosting the Legacy Ball. It was equal parts thrilling and exhausting. I opened a new email from a prospective client right as I bumped into another patron. Coffee splashed over the side of their open cup and onto their shoes. Horror streaked through me. I'm so sorry. I looked up, the email forgotten. I didn't mean... My apology died a quick death when my eyes landed on a familiar head of dark hair and bronzed skin. My lips remained parted, but my words had fled to some far-off island for an unplanned vacation.
That's all right,
Dante said easily.
We've all been there. It was my fault for leaving my cup open when it's so crowded.
I watched, stunned, as he plucked a lid from the counter and fitted it over his coffee. It was the middle of the workday, but instead of a suit, he wore black dress pants and a white button-down with the sleeves rolled up. No tie. What are you doing here? I found my voice somewhere between the rapid thumps of my heart and the dryness in my throat. It was the second time I'd asked him the question in twice as many days. His office was a few blocks away, but there were at least half a dozen coffee shops between here and there. A small, playful hitch of his brow.
Getting coffee, like you.
He placed a hand on my arm and gently moved me to the side before a harried 20-something blonde blitzed past us with a full tray of coffee. If I hadn't moved, I'd be wearing Americano and cold brew with my Diane von Furstenberg. Dante's hand lingered a beat on my arm before he removed it and held it out.
I'm Dante, by the way.
The imprint of his touch burned into my skin. I stared at his outstretched hand, wondering if he'd bumped his head and developed a sudden case of amnesia over the weekend. I couldn't work out how else to respond, so I slid my hand into his with a wary, "I'm Vivian."
Nice to meet you, Vivian.
His palm was warm, rough. My stomach fluttered at hazy memories of that roughness mapping my body before I shoved them aside. They belonged in the past, not here in my favorite coffee shop, where I was having the world's most bizarre conversation with my amnesia-ridden ex-fiancé.
So do you come here often?
he asked casually. The cheesiness of the pickup line pulled me out of my shock. Seriously? I said, my tone dubious. His eyes crinkled at the corners. I hated how endearing it was.
It's an honest question.
Yes, I do. You know I do. I pulled my hand away and glanced at the counter. The barista hadn't called my order yet. What are you doing, Dante? And I don't mean the coffee. His good humor slipped.
You said our relationship had a rocky start, and you were right.
He said quietly.
So here I am, trying for a fresh start. No business, no bullshit, just us, meeting normally like any two people would.
The admission reached into my chest and squeezed. If only. The tense beat passed, and Dante's smile returned, slow and devastating. I regretted all the times I told him to scowl less. A scowling Dante was much easier to resist than a smiling one.
I don't want to come off as too forward since we just met,
he said.
but would you like to go out sometime?
I squashed a reluctant bloom of amusement at the absurd situation and shook my head. Sorry, I'm not interested in dating right now,
So it won't be a date.
he said without missing a beat.
It'll be dinner between two people getting to know each other better.
My gaze narrowed. He stared back at me, his expression innocent, but his eyes alive with mischief. The barista finally called my name. I broke eye contact and picked up my coffee. It was nice to meet you, Dante, I said pointedly, but I have to get back to work. He followed me to the door and held it open.
If not a date, then your number. I promise I won't prank call you or send you inappropriate photos.
A wicked slant of his lips.
Unless you want them, of course.
I suppressed another smile and arched a skeptical brow instead. Are you always this persistent with women you meet in a coffee shop?
Only those I can't stop thinking about.
He said, his eyes steady on mine. The air turned humid. A breeze swept past, doing nothing to alleviate the sudden heaviness of my dress or the warmth unspooling in my stomach. We were tangled in such a complicated web. But for a moment, I let myself get swept away by the fantasy of us as a normal couple. Normal first meet, normal dates, normal relationship. Just a woman wanting a man who wanted her back. If I give you my number, will you stop following me? A faint curve of his mouth.
We were both leaving, so I don't know if that counts as following, but yes.
I gave him my number. He already had it, of course, but he typed it into his phone like he didn't. Dante! I stopped him when he was halfway down the sidewalk. He looked back at me. How did you know I would be here at this time?
I didn't. But I know it's your favorite coffee shop, and you always come here around lunchtime.
His parting words drifted toward me on the breeze.
It was nice meeting you, Vivian. Dante. 1 ring, 2, 3. I paced my room, my stomach twisted with nerves as I waited for her to answer. It was 10:30, which meant she was getting ready for bed. She usually took an hour to wind down with a shower or a bath, depending on how stressed she was. A bafflingly intricate 10-step skincare routine and some reading if she wasn't too tired. I'd timed my call so I'd catch her after she got out of the shower. 4 rings, 5. Assuming, of course, she picked up my call, my nerves pulled tighter. Vivian gave me her number that afternoon, which meant she wanted me to call, right? If she didn't, she would have simply left. Hell, a part of me had expected her to. I'd lingered in that damn coffee shop for almost 2 hours on the off chance I'd see her. She went there every day, but her timing varied depending on her workload. It wasn't the world's greatest plan, but it had worked, even if it had meant skipping a lunch meeting. 6 rings, 7.
Hello?
Her voice flowed over the line, clear and sweet like the first gasp of air after surfacing from a frigid lake. The breath released from my lungs. "Hi, this is Dante?"
Dante.
She mused like she was trying to remember who I was. At least she was playing along. Progress. "We met at the coffee shop this afternoon," I reminded her with a touch of amusement.
Ah, right. You're supposed to wait 3 days.
Vivian said.
Calling a woman the same day you get her number could be considered desperate.
I paused in front of the window and stared out at the dark sprawl of Central Park below. The image blended with the room reflected behind me, the half-empty perfume bottles lining the dresser, the perfectly made bed where her scent still lingered, the armchair where she liked to curl up and read at night. She hadn't picked up the rest of her belongings yet, and I didn't know whether it was a blessing or a curse. A blessing because it gave me hope she would return. A curse because everywhere I turned there she was, a beautiful, haunting presence I felt but couldn't touch. A familiar ache worked its way into my chest. "Not could, Miyakata," I said, my voice low. My reflection stared back at me, taut with exhaustion and self-loathing. I hadn't slept properly in a week, and my appearance suffered for it. I am desperate. Silence followed, so deep and profound it swallowed everything except the painful thuds of my heart. Admitting weakness, much less desperation, was unheard of for a Russo. Hell, I didn't even admit when I had a cold. But denying my feelings had landed me in my current hell, and I wasn't going to make the same mistake twice. Not when it came to Vivian. My hand strangled my phone while I waited for her answer. None came. She was quiet for so long I double-checked whether she'd hung up. She hadn't. I cleared my throat, wishing I was more eloquent at expressing my emotions. It was one of the few skills my grandfather hadn't drilled into me since I was young. I've never had to pursue someone before, so perhaps I'm not doing this right. But I wanted to hear your voice. Without pretty words, all I had was the truth. More silence. The ache bled from my chest into my voice. The apartment isn't the same without you, Miyakata. Despite the bustle of staff and deliveries, the smell of Greta's cooking, and the millions of dollars worth of art and furniture, it had turned into a shell of itself in her absence, a sky without stars, a home without heart.
Don't.
Vivian whispered. The air shifted, our earlier playfulness vanishing beneath the weight of our emotion. It's the truth, I said. Your clothes are here, your memories are here, but you're not here, and I dragged in a shaky breath and pushed my hand through my hair. Fuck, Vivian, I didn't think I was capable of missing someone so much, but I am, and I do. I had all the money in the world, but it couldn't buy me the only thing I wanted. Her back by my side. It was what I'd wanted since I came home and found her packing. Hell, it was what I'd wanted since we returned from Paris and I pulled away like an idiot, but my head had been so far up my ass about Francis and revenge, I couldn't see anything except my own bullshit. It took my brother, of all people, to make me see the light. I loved Vivian. I'd been falling in love with her bit by bit since she crashed my exhibition and stared me down with defiance in her eyes. Say something, sweetheart, I said softly when she went quiet again.
You say you miss me now, but the feeling will pass. You're Dante Russo. You can have anyone.
A waver rippled beneath her voice.
You don't need me.
The tiny crack on the word me hit me like a punch in the gut.
You never wanted to get married, and you never wanted me.
One of her 6 reasons, and one I took a fair share of the blame for. But I wasn't the only one. Her parents had a hand in making her feel like she was dispensable, other than what she could do for them. And I'd never forgive them for it. It was hypocritical, but I didn't care. I don't want anyone, I said fiercely. I want you, your wit and intelligence, your kindness and charm, the way your eyes crinkle when you laugh and how your smile makes the world tilt just a little bit. I even want the disgusting food combinations you put together and somehow make taste good. A half laugh, half sob bled over the line. But that's the thing about you, Vivian. My voice softened into something rawer. You take the most ordinary or unexpected things and make them extraordinary. You see the silver lining in every situation and the good in everyone, even if they don't deserve it. And I'm selfish enough to hope you'll see how much I don't just want, but need you. Today, tomorrow, and all the days that come after that. Another sob, this one quieter, but no less powerful. Fuck, I wished I could see her, hold her, comfort her, and look into her eyes so she knew I meant every damn word I said. I know it took me a while to get here, sweetheart, and I'm not the best with expressing my emotions, but a ragged breath. Give me a chance to prove it to you. Go on a date with me, just one. The first silence had been long. This one was torturous. My heart slammed fast and hard enough to bruise, then stopped altogether when Vivian finally replied. Soft and hesitant, yet thick with emotion.
Okay. Just one.
Chapter 39. Dante.
Micetta, it's so nice to see you.
Greta brushed past me and swept Vivian up in a hug. She only used the little kitten endearment for her grandchildren, but apparently she'd extended it to Vivian.
The house isn't the same without you.
I scowled at her pointed tone. She'd given me the cold treatment all week. I was pretty sure she'd burned my pork chops on purpose the other night. I'd forced down 2 bites before I gave up and ordered takeout. It wasn't just her either. Even Edward had cast disapproving glances my way when he thought I wasn't looking. My staff didn't know what happened with Vivian. They only knew she was gone and they blamed me for it. Hell, I blamed myself too, which was why I was trying to make amends. I'd spent the past 2 days since my call with Vivian planning the date, and my nerves were a humiliating wreck. I hadn't been this nervous since I was a high school freshman asking out the most popular girl in school. I pushed my hands into my pockets while Vivian returned Greta's hug. An irrational plume of green smoke curled through me. Hell must be frigid if I was jealous of my damn 74-year-old housekeeper.
It's good to see you too.
Vivian said, her voice warm.
Not working too hard, I hope? No, just making sure my boss.
Greta raised her voice even though I stood less than 5 feet away.
Doesn't mess up any more than he has. It's a full-time job, Micetta. Not for the faint of heart.
Fucking Greta. Every day I questioned why I hadn't fired her yet. An awkward silence bloomed. Vivian glanced in my direction and quickly looked away. My already raw nerves shredded into ribbons.
Well,
Greta said, obviously realizing she'd made things more uncomfortable than intended.
I'll let you two get to it. I'll be in the kitchen.
She patted Vivian's hand and glared at me as she passed. Don't fuck up, her eyes said. My scowl deepened, like I needed her to tell me that.
Should I be wary of the fact the date is at your house?
Vivian asked. I'd told her to dress comfortably, but even in a simple cotton sundress and sandals, she was so fucking beautiful it took my breath away. Our house. Not unless you're scared of food and a good time.
You have a high opinion of your date planning skills.
You've never complained. She rolled her eyes, but my mouth curved at her faint smile. It was progress, no matter how small. So, I cleared my throat as we walked toward the den, where I'd set everything up. The Legacy Ball was a hit. The whole city's buzzing about it.
They're buzzing about Veronica Foster's appearance more than anything.
She said.
Who could have guessed she has such good vocals?
Most socialites who dabbled in the arts succeeded due to nepotism, not talent. Veronica was a surprising exception. You did, I said. You gave her a slot after watching her tape. I'm sure Buffy's happy.
Yes, my reputation lives to see another day.
Another awkward silence thudded between us. Lau Jules' stock had plummeted to record low levels after a deluge of bad press. Vivian wasn't too affected yet. I'd made sure of that. But she wasn't immune to the whispers and speculation, things I had a hand in fomenting. Guilt pierced my gut. I'd played a Hail Mary at the ball Friday night. Part of me had expected her to slap me and storm off, but another, uncharacteristically idealistic part had hoped she would hear me out. And she had. I didn't know what I did to deserve it, but I was fucking taking it. We arrived at the den. I hesitated for a beat before opening the doors. Get your shit together, Russo. I was in my late 30s. I was too old to be acting like a damn teenager on his first date. But that was exactly what this was, minus the teenager part. Our first real date. No lies, no secrets, no deceptions. Just us. A rush of anxiety spiked through me when Vivian surveyed the room with wide eyes. I'd agonized over the date for hours before settling on something simple yet personal. Today wasn't about the glitz and glamour. It was about spending time together and fixing our relationship. She liked romance and astronomy, so I'd queued up some romantic fantasy about a fallen star who was actually a woman or some shit like that on the flat-screen TV. I'd never heard of the movie, but according to Greta's granddaughter, yes, I'd resorted to asking a high schooler for help. It was super cute. Over 24 takeout containers sat on top of the coffee table next to Pringles, pickles, and pudding. I'd bought a vintage popcorn machine and rush installed it yesterday for the full movie experience. The snack was disgusting, but Vivian and most of the world liked it for some godforsaken reason. You said you haven't found a new favorite dumpling place after the shop in Boston closed, so I figured I'd help you, I said when her eyes lingered on the takeout boxes. Samples from 34 of the best dumpling places in the 5 boroughs, as determined by Sébastien Laurent himself. The CEO of the Laurent Restaurant Group was a renowned gastronome. If he said something was good, it was good.
Are you sure this isn't a ploy to stuff me with so much food I won't be able to leave?
Vivian teased. Her shoulders relaxed for the first time since she arrived. I grinned. Can't confirm or deny, but if you want to stay, I won't stop you. She hadn't moved the rest of her belongings yet. I knew it was because she'd been busy with the legacy ball, but I took it as a sign they were already where they and she belonged. With me. Vivian's cheeks pinked, but she didn't reply.
How did you know this was one of my favorite movies growing up?
She asked when the film got underway. She plucked a dumpling from one of the containers and took a delicate bite. I wasn't sure she could fit all 34 in one day, but we could always try the one she missed later. I didn't, I admitted. I was looking for a movie about stars that wasn't a documentary or sci-fi. Greta's granddaughter helped me out. I should buy the girl a thank you present, maybe a car or a vacation of her choice.
Taking advice from a teenager? Very un-Dante Russo-like.
Yeah, well, being Dante Russo-like hasn't been the best decision lately. Our gazes touched. Her smile faded, leaving soft wariness behind. Luca came over Monday night, I said. I told him what happened. For the first time, he gave me advice instead of taking it. It was damn good advice, too.
What did he say?
That I needed to fight for you. And he was right. Vivian's breath shallowed. Something exploded on screen, but we didn't look away. My heart slammed against my ribcage. The air thickened and sparked like kindling doused with gasoline, and just when the silence stretched to its breaking point, she spoke again.
I confronted my father on Wednesday,
she said quietly, shocking the hell out of me.
I flew to Boston and showed up at his office. I didn't tell him I was coming. I might have lost my nerve if I had.
I waited for her to continue. When she didn't, I gave her a gentle nudge. What happened? She toyed with her food.
Long story short, we got into a huge fight over what he did. He asked me to ask you to help with the company's troubles. I said no. And he disowned me.
The words were matter of fact, but her voice was sad enough to make my heart ache. Shit. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I loathed Francis with the fire of 1,000 suns, but he was her family. She loved him, and the split must have devastated her.
It's okay. I mean, it's not, but it is.
Vivian shook her head.
It was my choice. I could have gone along with what he wanted, but it wasn't right. I was still a pawn to him, and I refused to let him use me to manipulate you.
It would have worked. Francis Lau had deduced my weakness. There was nothing I wouldn't give Vivian if she asked. It's your family's company, I said, watching her carefully. Honestly, I was surprised she wasn't more upset about what I did. I'd pushed the button knowing it would hurt her family and by extension her, and I had no excuse other than my pride and thirst for vengeance. What do you want to happen?
I don't want it to crash, obviously. If I could help in any other way, I would. But...
She blew out a breath.
This is going to sound bad. But my father has never faced many consequences for his actions. He's the boss in the office and at home. He does what he wants, and other people have to go with it. This is the first time he's had to deal with repercussions. And the thing about him is, he only understands strength and power. Subtlety doesn't work on him, not when it comes to things like this. I don't agree with what you did, but I understand it. So even though I should hate you...
Her voice lowered until it was barely audible.
I don't.
My knuckles turned white from gripping my knee. Even if the company goes bankrupt? A frown tugged at her lips.
Do you think it will?
It's very possible. I didn't take my eyes off her. Tell me the truth, Vivian. Do you want me to step in and end it? We hadn't reached a critical juncture yet. What had been done to Lau Jules was reversible, but there was a ticking clock on the operation. Soon it would be out of even my hands. I will, I said. No manipulation from your father, no questions asked, just say the word. I meant what I said the other night. I loved her more than I ever hated Francis, and if being with her meant I had to save him, I'd do it without hesitation. Vivian's eyes shone in the light pouring from the TV.
Why do that when you went to all this trouble to punish him?
Because I don't care about punishment or revenge anymore. I care about you. The shine brightened. A tiny tremble rolled through her when I brushed my thumb over her cheek, the food and movie forgotten. I had no frame of reference for the indescribable ache in the pit of my stomach. It was endless and starved, satiated only by the softness of her skin beneath mine. Vivian didn't touch me back, but she also didn't pull away.
What are we doing, Dante?
She whispered. My thumb traveled south and skimmed the curve of her bottom lip. We're working things out the way any couple would.
Most couples aren't as dysfunctional as we are.
There's nothing wrong with a little dysfunction. It keeps things interesting. I smiled at her soft huff before turning serious again. Move back in, Miyakata. You can have your old room if you don't feel comfortable sleeping in ours yet. I swallowed. Greta misses you. Edward misses you. I miss you. So damn much. Vivian dragged in a shaky breath.
You really think it's that simple? I move back in and everything's fixed?
No. We were in a hell of a mess, and I wasn't that naive. But it's a first step. I removed my hand and brushed my lips over hers, just light enough to steal a hint of a taste. You and me, sweetheart. That's the destination. And I'm willing to take as many steps as I need to get there.
Chapter 40. Vivian. I didn't move back in with Dante. Part of me wanted to, but I wasn't ready to jump in with both feet again so soon. I did, however, agree to another date with him. 3 days after our movie night, We arrived at a quiet corner of the Brooklyn Botanic Garden. It was a gorgeous afternoon, all clear skies and golden sunshine, and the picnic setup looked like something out of a fairy tale. A low wooden table stretched across a thick ivory blanket, surrounded by huge cushions, gold and glass floor lanterns, and an oversized wicker hamper. The table itself was set with porcelain plates and a feast of foods, including baguettes, charcuterie, and desserts. Dante, I breathed, stunned by the sheer intricacy of the setup. What?
I remembered how much you like picnics.
His palm slid from my hip to the small of my back. Fire licked over my skin, chasing away my goosebumps from the sight before us. Please don't tell me you shut down the garden for this. Most visitors picnicked on one of the grassy lawns, but we were smack dab in the middle of an actual garden.
Of course not.
Dante said.
I only reserved part of it.
His amusement following my groan was a cool glass of water on a hot day, and the atmosphere was comfortable enough to sink into as we settled around the table. It was easy and effortless, a far cry from the poignant but charged air the other night. Here I could almost forget the troubles waiting for us outside the lush confines of the garden. This might be the longest date I've been on, I said. It had started with a special exhibition at the Whitney Museum, followed by mimosas at an exclusive brunch party, and now this. On the surface, it seemed like any other lavish date, but I suspected Dante had an ulterior motive. The rumors regarding our relationship and my father's company were escalating. By taking me out so publicly, he was making a statement. Our relationship was rock solid, even though it wasn't, and any slander about me personally wouldn't be tolerated. My tie to him was the best form of protection against vicious society gossip. No one wanted to piss Dante off.
We can make it longer.
His grin worked its way into my chest. If he was upset about me rejecting his proposal to move back in, he didn't show it. He hadn't brought up the issue since his initial disappointment.
Overnight trip to upstate New York. I have a cabin in the Adirondacks.
Don't push it. I'm docking the extra hours off of our next date.
So there is going to be a next date.
Maybe. Depends if you keep annoying me or not. His deep rumbled laugh scattered tingles down my spine.
I don't come to Brooklyn often, but I've been visiting more since my brother's girlfriend lives here.
A grimace touched his mouth.
Guess what her name is?
I have no idea,
Leaf.
he said flatly.
Her name is Leaf Green.
I almost choked on my water. Her parents have a, unique sense of humor. Leaf Green? Her middle school years must have been horrific.
She's been helping Luca do inner work, whatever the hell that means. But he's not doing cocaine or drinking himself into unconsciousness at a nightclub, so it's progress.
Dante's tone was dry. How are things between you and Luca? He'd mentioned they were talking more, but I didn't know where things stood with them. Dante poured a glass of mint-iced tea and slid it across the table toward me.
Different. Not bad, but different. He's matured over the past year, and I don't worry as much about getting a call to bail him out of jail in the middle of the night. We agreed to bi-monthly meals together.
Another grimace.
Last one was at Leaf's house, and she cooked fucking tofu chicken.
A laugh spilled out. Tofu can be good if prepared properly.
Tofu as tofu, not as chicken. Chicken should be chicken.
Dante growled.
And in case you were wondering, no, she didn't prepare it properly. It tasted like chewy cardboard.
I couldn't help laughing again. The public thought we were still engaged, but it was private moments like these that I'd missed. The little jokes and asides, the personal details, the conversations about mundane topics that, taken as a whole, meant as much as more meaningful talks. Love wasn't always about the big moments. More often, it was tucked in the small moments connecting the major ones. This date felt like one of those, a stepping stone on our path toward potential reconciliation. I wasn't ready to fully trust Dante again, but I might one day. For someone who hasn't had a serious relationship in years, you're pretty good at putting together these dates, I said after we finished eating. We walked through the garden to stretch our legs and soak in our surroundings before we left. All around us, spring flowers bloomed. Lilacs, peonies, and azaleas, dogwoods, wild geraniums, and Spanish bluebells. The air was alive with the sweet sense of nature, but I barely noticed. I was too distracted by Dante's scent and the heat emanating from his body. It touched my side, warm and heavy even though we walked a respectable distance from each other.
It's easy when you know the other person.
His reply was both casual and intimate. My heart wavered for a beat. And you think you know me?
I like to think I do.
We stopped in the shade of a nearby tree, its trunk against my back, its branches arching overhead in a canopy of leaves. Sunlight dappled through the foliage, turning Dante's eyes into the color of rich molten amber. A 5 o'clock shadow stubbled his strong jaw and cheeks, and my entire body tingled when I remembered the scratch of that stubble on my inner thighs. The air sparked, a lit match in a pool of gasoline. All the banked heat we'd suppressed during lunch surged toward the surface in an unabashed wave. My skin was suddenly too hot, my clothes too heavy. An electric link snaked around us, slow and sinuous. For example, had my voice always been that high and breathy?
For example, I know you're still scared.
Dante said softly.
I know you're not ready to fully trust me again, but you want to. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here.
His observation pierced my mask like it was made of nothing more than breaths and whispers. Another wavering heartbeat. That's quite an assumption.
Perhaps.
A step brought him closer. My pulse sped up.
Then tell me, what do you want?
His fingertips grazed my wrist, and my pulse broke into a flat-out sprint.
Whatever it is, I'll give it to you.
Dante threaded his fingers with mine, his gaze steady. Hot. Words eluded me, lost in the haze clouding my brain. We stared at each other, the air heavy with things we wanted to but couldn't say. Amber darkened into midnight. Dante's body was a study in tension, his jaw hard and his shoulders so taut his muscles were almost vibrating. His next words pitched low and rough.
Tell me what you want, Vivian. Do you want me on my knees?
Oh, God. Oxygen disappeared when he slowly lowered himself to the ground, the movement both proud and subservient. His breath fanned across my skin.
Do you want this?
His fingers trailed from my hand down over the back of my leg, leaving fire in their wake. My thoughts muddled, but I had the remaining sense to know this wasn't about sex. It was about vulnerability, atonement, absolution. It was a pivotal moment disguised as an inconsequential one and condensed into one word. Yes. It was both command and capitulation, moan and sigh. Dante's breath released. If I were with anyone else, I'd worry about someone walking by and seeing us. But Dante's presence was like an invisible shield protecting me from the rest of the world. If he didn't want anyone to see us, they wouldn't. His palms burned as they parted my thighs. He'd barely touched me, and I was already on fire. I tipped my head back, drowning in arousal, in heat and lust and the reverence of his touch as he kissed his way up my thigh. His stubble rasped against my skin and sent tiny shocks of pleasure down my spine.
I'm sorry.
The aching whisper ghosted over me, seeping into my veins and settling into my bones. Another shiver ran through me.
I'm sorry for hurting you.
A soft kiss at the delicate crease between my thigh and insistent heat.
For pushing you away.
He slid my underwear to the side and gently touched his tongue to my clit.
For ever making you feel unwanted when you're the only person I've ever loved.
His raw words blended with my cry when he drew my clit into his mouth and sucked. My body arched away from the tree. My hands sank into his hair, and I could only hold on as he worshipped me with his lips and hands and tongue. Rough yet smooth, firm yet pleading, carnal yet tender. Every movement sent another jolt of pure sensation through me. Pressure built simultaneously in my chest and at the base of my spine. I was breathless with it, flying high on nothing but emotion and adrenaline. He drew back and grazed his teeth against my sensitive clit. He pushed 2 fingers inside me, thrusting and curling while I writhed with abandon. Dante knew my body. He knew exactly which buttons to push and which spots to hit, and he played it like a finely tuned instrument, a maestro conducting an orchestra of sighs and moans. He pressed his thumb against my clit at the same time he hit my G-spot. The pressure exploded. My orgasm rocked through me, and my cries still echoed in the air when Dante rose to his feet, his chest heaving. He braced his hands on either side of my head and tenderly kissed away the tears sliding down my cheeks. I hadn't realized I'd been crying. He paused when he reached my lips. Silence thickened between us as his mouth hovered a hair's breadth from mine. Waiting, hoping, seeking permission. I almost gave in, almost tilted my chin up and closed the breath between us while my body buzzed from the aftershocks of my climax. Instead, I turned my head. Just a fraction, but enough for Dante to step back with a ragged breath. We took a big step forward, but I wasn't ready for another one yet. I was too physically and emotionally drained. "I'm sorry," I whispered.
You don't have to apologize, Miyakata.
His fingers twined with mine again, strong and reassuring. His eyes were soft.
As many steps as it takes, remember. We'll get there.
All right. Well, let's just say the end of that episode was a little spicy, if you know what I mean. But that's going to be today's episode. Love you guys all. I will see you guys next time. Probably on Sunday. Patreon people, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Also, keep an eye out on the YouTube channel for tomorrow. Got a big surprise for you guys on that. And then, I'll see you guys on Sunday, and peace. Love y'all.